Magandang buhay! How are you today, everyone? I hope you all are doing fine right now amidst the pandemic. Alive and kicking, right? Okay. As of this moment, we are going to learn another interesting topic that will surely nourish and refresh our minds with wonderful and amazing thoughts of different people that will surely be shared to us right now. By the way, this is the content of Module 1 that is related in our real life, understood in its depth, and put into practice with the learning exercise. This is Jarian Labe, your host in today's episode entitled Show Off. Our episode is composed of three segments that will surely enrich our minds and develop our critical thinking ideas. Are you excited? Yes, I know you are very much excited for this one. Okay, we will not waste any more time. So, let's get started. Just sit back, relax, enjoy, and be ready to learn new things. Now, for our first segment, which is called Let's Experience, we will derive the life lessons and application of knowledge of two persons regarding our main topic, which is strategic management essentials. I have here Miss Jennifer Oliva and John Lee Nervasa to share their application of lessons learned in Module 1. The screen is all yours.
First, create opportunities. Opportunity is very important to each one of us who are on the first step to start over our life. It is a life-changing journey to strive in to be one of those who are successful person. Example, as students work hard to achieve their goal to finish studying is a way to open job opportunities to choose from in the future. Like in financial management students, they are qualified to become a CSO, manager, financial advisor, and so on when they graduate. Second, set a long-term goals. Self-improvement requires long-term objectives. They provide us with something to aim for and keep us focused on our objectives and plan the course of our lives and professions. For example, you have a long-term goal to become a manager or CEO. So you need to work for it in order to achieve your goal to be in the position. And third, stay open to new ideas. The importance of having an open mind allows you to adopt new ideas more quickly in the workplace or in everyday life. In addition to that, new ideas and experiences can help you become more lively person. For example, open-minded person can easily adapt in a new environment like culture or in the workplace or wherever he is, and willing to think about new and diverse ideas or points of view. And they are very flexible when it comes to job training.
Be consistent. Being consistent helps you to feel good about what you're working towards. It can fast track your improvement or development in different areas of your works. It leads you to progress, which can speed up the achievement of what you want. We can consider this as a key component for making money in business. Essentially, you must do what is necessary to be successful day in and day out. This will create long-term positive habits that will help you to make money in the long run. Also, consistency rate comes from what we do at our business every day to keep it afloat, seek growth, and further greatness. For example, when we inspect the brands, we should select the best brands which is uniform by most measures. Especially their products are consistent and the way the business manage itself is relatively coherent. Another lesson is better communication serves as a foundation for planning and helps to the organization improve the productivity of their workforce. This will create a positive presence for the organization in the market and instill a sense of trust among employees and increase the efficiency of the workforce. It is essential that all employees are on the same page. Key information should be evenly distributed throughout the organization without any particulars left out. Without complete information, it might be difficult for employees to accomplish their tasks successfully. For instance, if there is a policy change in the organization, your client as well as employees should have complete information about it. Example, when individuals have a well informed, they will have good manners than a uninformed worker. Organizational magazines, journals, meetings, and various other forms of oral and written help in molding employees' attitude.
Wow, what an amazing thought did we hear. Thank you for sharing, Miss Oliva and Miss Narvasa. Okay, let's proceed to the second part.
What's up, guys? This is Nick Leopold Marpet on your screen, your host in the second part of the episode Show Up. To continue our episode of learning, we will proceed in our second segment, which is called Let's Talk. In this part, we will have a discussion with our two panel members to further understand this strategic management essential. We will mine ideas in this part. So let's go. Let's learn. Let's talk. Together with our two panel members, I would like to welcome our first panel member, Jaria Lado. For our second panel member, Kimberly Bueno.
Hi.
Welcome to our talk show. Are you ready, guys? So now let's start with our first question. Our first question is list for financial and for non-financial benefits of a firm engaging in strategic planning. So who's gonna answer first?
Okay. Financial benefits. Organizations which uses strategic planning are generally more profitable and successful than those do not. Second benefit it shows significant improvement in sales, profitability, and productivity. The third one, organizations that utilize strategic planning concepts, tools, and techniques generally exhibit superior long-term financial performance relative to their industry. And last, firms can make more informed decisions with good anticipation of both short and long-term consequences. And for the non-financial benefits,
Mhm.
in the organization, strategic planning can enhance awareness of external threats, improve understanding of competitors' strategies, increase employee productivity, reduce resistance to change, and a clear understanding of performance reward relationships. It enhances the problem prevention capabilities of organization because it promotes interaction among managers at all divisional and functional levels. Strategic planning brings order and discipline to a firm. And lastly, it provides a basis for identifying and rationalizing the need for change to all managers and employees of a firm. It helps them view change as an opportunity rather than threat.
Impressive. So now let's go to the second question. Discuss the comparison between business strategy and military strategy.
Okay, so strategic planning began in the military, so we can conclude that business strategy is being derived from military strategy. And because of this, business and military strategies are very much alike. These two strategies aim to gain competitive advantage from their rivals and enemies. They use their own strengths to exploit competitors' weaknesses, and the effectiveness of these strategies lie in the continuous changing of external and internal conditions and the formulation and implementation of insightful adaptations. The great competitive advantage that military and business strategy needs to have is the element of surprise and the information systems that will provide the data on opponent or competitors' strategies and resources. And the only difference we can see or identify in business strategy and military strategy is that business strategy is formulated, implemented, and evaluated in the assumption of competition, while military strategy is based on the assumption of conflict.
Ooh. So now let's go to question number 3. Briefly explain whether strategic planning should be more of a people-oriented process than a paper process.
Okay, so in my own opinion, strategic planning should be more of a people-oriented process because it should involve your employees. Your employees are involved in the day-to-day operations and can provide you with a unique view of the company. Employees can share with you what they think is and isn't working with the business today, which can inform your planning for the future with the help of your employees. Also, it makes them feel appreciated and because they make a difference in the company.
Hmm. Now I know. Next. Hmm. Do you agree with the fact that strategic planning should not be controlled by technicians? Briefly explain the reason for your answer.
Oh, yes, I truly agree because of two reasons. First, technicians are much more effective in tracking the progress of the effects in implementing strategic plans, but they are not made for formulating what strategies to use in an effective plan. And second, decisions in making the strategic plan needs the consent and bigger participation of the higher management. It is supposed to be a teamwork of higher management and the technicians to ensure that effective strategies are made and are tracked regularly. So, strategic plans should not be solely controlled by technicians alone.
Question. According to San, I don't know how to pronounce his family name, but according to him, warfare is based on deception. Should strategic planning be based on deception? Explain.
Okay, yes. Strategic planning should also be based on deception, as deception is a crucial part of a well-planned attack. In order to gain competitive advantage, strategic deception aims to manipulate elite perceptions. The merging strategy and tactics enables the organization to deceive deceive other competitors with respect to their response and surprised with the actual response.
Oh, that's well explained. So next for our sixth question. Explain again from Santo statement. Uh, is generally in the world the best policy is to take a state income. Terrain, it is inferior to this. Is this true and incorporate strategic planning? Explain.
Okay, this statement is very true and applicable in corporate strategic planning. Sunju's statement means that in war, the best policy is to take the state or the enemy undamaged. To ruin them shows lower ability. It is better to capture them and bring them under your control rather than kill and destroy them because their abilities, skills, and number will add strength to your platoon. The same goes to business. Think of strategies that will defeat your competitors, but not in a way that their reputation will be destroyed. Instead, make a strategy that will result to your business gaining control and leadership from your rival business in order to be successful in corporate strategic planning.
Thank you. That clearly explained. Um, Ms. Kimberly Buena. For our seventh question, I'll discuss the extent to which strategic planning concepts would be applicable to individuals managing their own lives.
Okay, a strategic plan of an individual managing their own lives helps to set and achieve long and short term goals while not losing the focus of long term vision statement. The best and most relevant personal strategic plan is tailored to focus on what matters most of an individual.
Thank you, Jar. For our next question, strengths and weaknesses should be determined relative to competitors or by elements of being or relative to a firm's own objective. Explain.
Strengths and weaknesses of a business should be determined and given importance the same way as how competitors are being determined and the firm's objectives and the elements of being are determined. Strengths and weaknesses are very important because by knowing them, you can assess how your business is doing. You can tell what is your edge or is the process that you made aligned to the firm's objectives. And you can identify the weakness you need to assess in overpowering your competitors. So these internal factors should not be ignored.
Thank you. So next, what are the three stages in strategic management? Which stage is more analytical? Which relies most on empowerment to be successful? Which relies most on statistics? Justify your answer.
Okay, the three stages of strategic management are the first one is strategy formulation, then strategy implementation, and strategy evaluation. The stage which is more analytical is strategy formulation because no organization has unlimited sources. So strategists must decide which alternative strategic plan will benefit the firm most, and also involves developing goals and objectives and selection of the best suitable course of action to meet organizational vision and mission. Next is the stage that empowers to be successful is strategy implementation because it depends upon the manager's ability to motivate employees, allocate resources, to create supportive environment and support the organizational culture. Also developing policies which helps in continuous improvement and motivating employees by forming a reward structure. And the stage that relies most on statistics is strategy formulation, because it is a stage that assesses the performance of an organization by analyzing the activities whether they are implemented in a right way or not. It obtains the results of the applied strategies, measuring performance and taking corrective actions.
Oh, that's clearly explained, Jarian. For our 10th question, what are the two factors most often are associated with companies hiring a chief strategy officer?
The two factors that are oftenly associated in hiring a chief strategy officer is first, there is an increase in management interdependence. That means members of an organization or business rely on each other for the flow of information work and decisions. So they need someone to direct or lead them, which the CSO can effectively fill. And the second one is there is growth in acquisition activity. Business acquire workforces, materials, ideas, and others to make the business successful. So they need CSO as someone who will decide which one is the best to acquire and what strategies to do in achieving the business's goal in a little expense as possible.
Thank you. For our second to the last question, I think Ms. Jarian is going to answer this question. What is the most important activity in the strategic management process?
The most important activity in the strategic management process is strategy implementation, because mere crafting a strategy is not sufficient for achieving the objectives of the organization. It needs to be implemented properly. If a strategy is implemented poorly, then its goals are unlikely to be achieved, or the result will be less significant. With high quality implementation, success is more likely.
Thank you, Ms. Jarian. For our last question, can you show a diagram that illustrates how to gain and sustain competitive advantages?
Okay, so here is a simple but very useful illustration on how we can achieve a good competitive advantage. Okay, so in this diagram, it can be seen that competitive advantage, in order to gain that, you need to adapt to changes. And these changes include external trends and events, the internal capabilities, competencies, and its resources. And these changes in these factors, in order to have a very effective advantage, you need to formulate this. What strategies are you going to do in these factors? And implement those strategies or plans that you had formulated and evaluate if all of these plans that you had prepared are very useful and contributes to the success and the progress of your business.
That was a fantastic idea. So, viewers, listeners, sit back and relax and wait for the segment 3.
And now I am back again to continue our final segment in today's episode, Show Off. Our third and final segment is called Let's Do It. In this part, learnings are assessed by answering exercises. I have two persons here who will present the result of their chosen exercise. Welcome, May Cleofer Merfel and John Dave Cariaga. The screen is all yours.
My report at this point is about the free Excel Students template that will help a student become more familiar with the Excel. The template version 16.1.12 or the free Excel student template was organized into three primary parts, the part 1, the part 2, and the respective data outputs pages for your respective matrices. All data can be entered in part 1 or part 2. The part 1 is consists of data entry in developing matrices, while the part 2 consists of data entry for financial information, including ratios, financial statements, and projected financial statements. The developing matrices in part 1 are consist of strength and weaknesses, which is the um, internal factor evaluation, opportunities and threats, which is external factor evaluation, the competitive profile matrix, Boston Consulting Group matrix, internal eternal matrix, space matrix, perceptual map, grand strategy matrix, SWOT, and QSPM. In performing the IFE, enter or 10 strength and 10 weaknesses, as well as the EFE, 10 opportunities and 10 traits. To perform the CPM, enter 12 critical success factors, no more and no less. For BCG matrix and IE matrix, the template allows for up to 5 divisions. If your company has more than 5 divisions, combine the divisions with the least amount of revenue into division 5 and mention the adjustment to the class during your presentation, or simply focus on the 5 divisions your 3-year plan centers around. In space matrix, include only 5 factors to assess each space axis, which is financial position, stability position, competitive position, and industry position. And the template of perceptual map, you may include for up to 10 product categories. Enter in the x-axis and y-axis dimension. The grand strategy matrix allow for entry of your firm and up to 5 divisions. Rank the x-axis from 1 to 9, which is extremely weak to extremely strong competitive position. Rank the y-axis from 1 to 9, which is extremely slow market growth, to extremely rapid market growth. For SWOT, add your SOWO, ST, and WT strategies. To perform QSPM, enter 2 strategies. These 2 strategies should be derived from BCG, IE, SPACE, GRANT, and SOT. For the sequence of Part 2, first enter your preliminary financial data, which is the income statement information and the balance sheet information. Second, company valuation. And the third was the EPS, EBIT analysis. In this part, you will notice if there is a change in EPS with stock versus debt financing. And lastly, the project financial statement. This template will be very useful for us, especially in our course, because by this template we can save time instead of 30 hours of preparing the strategic management. We will finish it by minutes. This template helps us to avoid mistake in math calculation, plotting points, and drawing graphs. By this, we can stay on track without errors. And we can develop professional looking charts, graphs, and matrices. This template will also help us to follow the correct process in formulating and implementing strategies. By following the steps sequentially presented in the template, we can be more comprehensive in our strategic plan for our assigned case. And lastly, for the future, we can indicate in our resume that we have experience using actual Excel-based strategic
In this video, I
software.
am going to introduce to you one of the Module 1 Assurance of Learning exercises, the strategic planning of Nestle SA. The purpose of this exercise is to gain practical knowledge and experience in investigating the strategic plan of large publicly held firms such as the Nestle SA. Compared to its rival firms, the privately held firms, which is the M&M Mars Company.
Strategic planning at Nestle SA. Nestle SA is a Swedish multinational food and drink processing conglomerate corporation headquartered in Vevey, Vaud, Switzerland. It is the largest food company in the world, measured by revenue and other metrics since 2014. Nestle constantly aims to push the boundaries of what is possible with foods, beverages, and nutritional health solutions to bring more pleasure and enjoyment. To enable better health, to make good nutrition accessible and affordable to everyone, to make preparing foods and beverages increasingly effortless, to protect and enhance our natural resources. Through enhancing quality of life and contributing a healthier future, Nestle aims to deliver sustainable, industry-leading financial performance and even trust. So Nestle uses these strategies in order to continue to flourish worldwide. Nestle is engaging a global network of suppliers and farmers to advance more responsible practices that preserve our planet. M&M Mars Company. M&M Mars is a family-owned company which sets them apart from others as they think and act differently towards their shareholders, employees, creditors, suppliers, and other stakeholders. They care about them to a certain extent that the company improve their human rights and increase their salaries. Because of this, the company is trusted all around the world and follows ethical business practices, which gives them an edge compared to Nestle. As we know, Nestle isn't owned by a family but a merger instead, and they don't treat their employees well. In fact, low salaries are given to their employees. They also have concern and awareness about the society, and this can be seen in their sustainability plan. They act responsibly for the good of society. For example, women empowerment, human rights, and income of farmers are well taken care of. Compared to Nestle, profit matters more than human rights for them. Mars used to produce quality products to compete globally. M&M Mars is guided by their 5 principles of quality, mutuality, efficiency, responsibility, and freedom, and they are privately managed for a reason, and it didn't stop them from competing others. Set advantages to keep strategies secret from shareholders, employees, creditors, suppliers, and other stakeholders. Yes, according to M&M Mars Company, the main point of keeping strategies secret from their shareholders, employees, and etc. is that by doing so, the risk of competitors copying or exploiting their strategies. For Mars, every tiny details and feedback matters to them, and this is how they can compete globally. What would be the advantages of being publicly held? Companies such as Nestle hold many benefits in being publicly held firm. One of its advantages is that public firms have the ability to raise funds through the sale of the company's stock to the public. Through primary or secondary markets by allowing the investing public by purchasing the shares of the company. By this, the company will be able to carry capital-intensive activities and the investors will benefit the capital gains of stock. In terms of searching financial resources, public firms have an advantage compared to private firms because public firms have the option to list their shares to the public market and wait for an investors. More investors, more funds.
Okay, thank you so much for that very wonderful presentation, Miss Marfel and Mr. Cariaga. I really hope that our viewers today are being able to gain new learnings and knowledge in this show. To conclude, strategy help us define our business. It gives a set of values and gives it purpose. It helps understand what success actually looks like. It provides a roadmap for a business. It shows a destination and identifies useful stopping points along the way. I hope you really enjoyed the show for today's episode. Thank you so much for staying until this moment of time. Before I end, let me give you a statement by Maurice Chung. He quotes that without strategy, execution is aimless. And without execution, strategy is useless. Have a good day, everyone.